IGAAR stated that, quote, "Primitive behavior is governed by belief in an absolute reality opposed to the profane world of unrealities, the latter which does not constitute a world. It is the unreal, the void," unquote. The unreal and the void are related. The unreal is the meaninglessness that marches each one of us to his and her end, that brick wall we will all one day smack up against, our own finality, our own death. As inheritors of archaic belief systems, modern humanity carries within itself this ancestral sense and dread of the void. This translates as a contemporary reality that can find no collective and conscious meaning for suffering and for mortality. The profane world is a world of our making, and it consists of our daily activities, our striving after things tangible and intangible. This profane world is an ephemeral construct that vanishes when we do. We must therefore and somehow imbue it with purpose and meaning. How can time just come in and swoop us up in its busyness, in its crises and boredom? How can it just have its way with us and then get rid of us? Since we must give our lives to time, why shouldn't time return the favor? Ritual abuse entails sacrifice on a global scale. It sacrifices time by distorting it, filling it with pain, in order that time may ultimately be controlled, shorn of its hold over mortality, forced to give back. Ritual abuse sacrifices humanity, both quantitatively in huge numbers and qualitatively, as when it perverts the understanding of the nature of being. Ritual abuse blocks the experience of this nature of being and instead substitutes fear. Unfortunately, the torturer is portrayed as a lone actor, shaped by his immediate past and unwilling to behave within the constraints of a working society. The atrocities he commits are sensationalized by rumor, confusion, the media. It has been forgotten that humankind itself has through ritual created violence, sadomasochism, perversion of love, self-loathing. If we finally admit to ourselves that humanity's history, at least as far back as the written word, has been propelled generation after generation, century after century, by violence and abuse, maybe we can understand something about our legacy. We have been master of and slave to crimes that are either glorified, as with war, sensationalized and mocked, as in battered woman syndrome, or vehemently hushed up, as in the issues of child pornography, incest, and sexual abuse. A progressive, rational, and deliberately confused and confusing worldview is disseminated to masses of news and information consumers. The outcome is trauma on a global level. This global trauma increases as larger and larger populations are enslaved, tortured, sacrificed, and told to mind their own business. This non-validation of a global reality can only lead to the proliferation of sadistic, ritualistic behavior into ever-widening networks. Lack of checks and balances, isolation of victims from others and from their own free will, underground systems of communications between ritual organizations can only increase victimization, consequent psychological damage as seen in dissociation, and post-traumatic stress, which further render society impotent in knowing what needs to address and how.